Are seed oils secretly killing your cat, or is it all hype, fear, and misinformation? Today, we are going to look at the scientific evidence, including randomized controlled trials in humans and animals, to bring you a clear, unbiased, and detailed look at seed oils and what they actually do inside of your cat's body. We are going to separate facts from fear. But before we start, my name is Sam, your cat's nutritionist, and there's two things you need to know about me. First, I'm independent, and that means I am not beholden to anyone, unlike most of the people online. And two, I only specialize in nutrition. I am an absolute geek when it comes to nutrition. Now, seed oils come from plants like corn, soybean, sunflower, safflower, and canola. They are rich in polyunsaturated fatty acids. So if you hear people talk negatively about linoleic acid, it's a polyunsaturated fat. Now, why do pet food makers include seed oils in cat food? Well, they are cost effective and they are a lot cheaper than, say, beef tallow or butter or any other regular saturated fat. So they are more cost effective. They have a long shelf life and they fulfill essential fatty acid needs according to AFCO, for example. And they are energy dense. They add calories to the overall recipes. But cats are very, very unique. Their metabolism is very, very unique. They are obligate carnivores. This means that their metabolism has evolved to rely on animal fats and proteins. They lack key enzymes to metabolize carbohydrates efficiently and have different needs for fatty acids. Now, critics will say the high omega-6s from seed oils worsens inflammation in cats, and that imbalances between omega-3s and omega-3s in many commercial cat foods cause chronic inflammatory states. They also say that seed oils oxidize easily, producing toxic lipid peroxides that impair gut and immune health. And some mechanistic studies in vitro partly back this. One research showed balancing omega-6 and 3s improved gut health and lowered inflammatory cytokines in cats, and that lipid peroxidation in cat kibble impairs digestibility and increases oxidative stress. These are all mechanistic studies. These aren't outcomes. They aren't randomized controlled trials. For example, human randomized controlled trials replacing saturated fats with omega-6's polyunsaturated fats show no increase in chronic systemic inflammation, improved insulin sensitivity and metabolic markers, neutral or slightly reduced risk of heart disease and cancer. In cats, however, direct randomized controlled trials data on seed oils is very, very limited, but clinical experience and feeding trials suggest that proper omega-3 supplementation can mitigate excess omega-3 effects, and that freshness and storage conditions of oils are very, very critical because oxidized oils are always problematic. So if you isolate seed oils and you compare them to saturated fats, seed oils aren't harmful per se in isolation. They actually tend to be better, or they tend not to have any complications when you swap one for one. That is the key takeaway. However, the bigger picture is much, much different. Because if your cat eats kibble or wet food with seed oils, it's often accompanied by high carbs like corn, rice, and wheat gluten. And these are totally inappropriate for obligate carnivores. And added sugars or syrups to improve palatability or caramel color. And these aren't very good for our cats. Obviously, what is really, really bad for our cats are vague fat sources labeled as animal fats without any transparency whatsoever, or meat and animal derivatives, or meat and bone meals. All of these contribute more to poor feline health than seed oils. So do not just look at seed oils, look at the full recipe, all of the ingredients. And if you see wheat, barley, corn, soy, sugar, or sugar derivatives, and seed oils, happily put that food back and do not feed it to your cat. And by the way, if you want to feed your cat better, I highly encourage you to download our guide, How to Feed Your Cat for Optimum Health. It's an absolute eye-opener and it separates what's good and what's bad advice. How to Feed Your Cat for Optimum Health. The link is down below. So what should you look out for instead? Look for clear, high quality fat sources, preferably animal fats plus added omega-3s with EPAs, DHAs. Avoid foods with excessive grains, sugars, or vague fat sources. Consider, if you can, fresh or minimally processed diets or high quality canned food. You want to be paying for meat. You do not want to be paying for rice, wheat, barley, corn, soy. You do not want to be paying for sugar. You want to be paying for high quality meat sources, meat, organs and bone in cat foods. Cats are obligate carnivores. Enough of all this malarkey. And if you can, store food properly to avoid oxidation. Keep sealed, cool and use quickly. Seed oils are not inherently toxic for cats, but their impact depends on the dose, the freshness and the overall diet. And when you look at the overall ingredients and whether your cat is over consuming calories or not, and if your cat is over consuming calories and your cat is putting weight on, that is the main culprit for all the potential bad health outcomes that they might incur in, not the seed oils exclusively. The real issue here is feeding cats ultra-processed foods with skewed fatty acid ratios, carbs, sugars, and oxidized fats. Polyunsaturated fats or seed oils aren't inherently bad. They're not innocuous. They're not just harmless. You have to watch out for them. But do not demonize seed oils without looking at the full picture. Focus on whole diet quality, balance, and freshness if you can. You should be given the middle finger to a lot of these commercial cat foods that are biologically inappropriate and that are designed to increase the profits of companies instead of caring about your cat's health. There's a whole industry making food that is biologically inappropriate, and it's an absolute disgrace, and we must change it. One of the most common questions I get asked is, which is the best wet cat food? Because my cat is a bit fussy and I don't really know what to feed them. And if that's the case with you, I put together a video with many wet foods that I review, and I think you should go and check it out next. The link will be down here.